Shpoi, how you doing? Hey, in this video, the truth about aligning with your higher self, and of course also how to connect with your higher self. So what I'm going to review with you in this video is actually completely something different than, if you only do this, then you will go and get that, this very linear thinking, because in this, field of spiritual developments, everything goes way beyond just linear or just just in a straight line. Everything goes like beyond any kind of logical explanation. But I just want to share my own point of views on this topic, on how to connect with your higher self. So first of all, how exactly can that look like? I would say is that when you are connected with your higher self, it's more like, you receive, let's say, insights or ideas or inspirations, and it feels like very euphoric. It kind of feels like, you are this tiny drip of this tiny little drop of water that boom suddenly feels very connected to his ocean, instead of, we feel like this tiny little separated being here just wandering around at this big giant blue rock with no kind of purpose at all, and we feel lost, we feel isolated, we feel disconnected, we feel separated from a whole lot of things, from ourselves, from others, the world around us, and of course from our higher self and source energy. So it is really like you feel very connected with your messages of inspiration, your insights, your ideas and such. So that's really what I would like to say. This is like your higher self talking to you. It's like you have like a spirit team just sending you ideas, insight. Okay, so this is what you have to bring forward. It doesn't have to be as a spiritual teacher or whatever, this can be in any kind of way. All right, so this might even, when you want to build your own business and you receive ideas and insights and inspiration on how to provide a better service or better product to the world. All right, so that can really be in that way. It is more like the non-physical realm where our mind is also at, the dimension, the fifth dimension, whatever you want to call it, just pours down, gives you down insights, ideas and inspiration, and your job is here to bring it in the world in order to improve society, okay, improve other people's life, improve a whole lot of things, our general evolution. So how that has to look like, that is of course totally up to you. Now the thing is, and that's really what I would like to say, the truth again, okay, so if you only go and do this, then you will go and have that, it's like, okay, you do this and boom, you are connected. It's I wish it was really that simple, but the real thing is, what is actually holding us back from staying connected with this truth, all right, staying connected with our inspiration, is because the mind, all right, the mind is kind of like more in the way, the lower self, or maybe also part of your identity, your physical identity, your self-image or your ego. All right, because what happened, of course, we came here, we incarnated as a pure being of light love, all right, unconditional love. And then of course what we started to do is we started to adapt to our environment, okay, so thoughts, ideas, beliefs, all these kind of things, on what we should, how we should behave, what we should be doing, what we should be having, and all these kind of things, so we started to believe in that, and then that actually could create separation between our core essence, all right, between who we really are at a deeper level with our true self. And that is actually could avoid us to stay connected with these messages, all right. So eventually we started to judge these messages of ideas, of insights or inspiration, okay. So we started to judge it, and we started to disapprove that, like, okay, what does it actually mean, these ideas? No one is going to like it, all right? No one is going to approve of it. No one can benefit from it, and we have all these kind of limited beliefs and self-doubts that are judging these insights from your higher self. And then, eventually we started to disconnect ourselves more and more and more and more. All right, so then it's basically we become more out of alignment with our true self, and then it's more difficult to stay connected and to channel in these messages of inspiration. So I think you can get an idea. You know, eventually we will find ourselves lost in an ocean of distractions and limited beliefs and in disempowering thoughts, feelings and emotions that, you know, made us more out of alignment with our true self. And our true self is, of course, you know, what is it that we truly love and enjoy doing? What is it that really truly uplift us, all right? That we can do just for the joy of it, all right? So we create just for the joy of creating, and it makes us feel completely present here in this moment, all right? So you are totally in align with that, okay? And it's like, you know, you are like filling a glass of water, you know, you fill it up and eventually it will create tremendous amount of shockwaves into the world of positivity, of course. All right, so now, of course, what does it take to connect actually with your higher self? When, of course, when you are out of alignment, okay? When you are feeling lost in this ocean of limited beliefs and, you know, disempowering thoughts, feelings and emotions. When you receive, let's say, an idea or an insight of an inspiration of what you could be doing, then the best thing, of course, is to act upon that, all right? So you receive an idea, an inspiration, an intuitive guidance that makes no sense at all. It makes you feel euphoric, excited, all these kind of beautiful things. You feel very inspired. Then the next thing is act upon that, all right? So you get maybe an idea to start a new business. Awesome. Now, of course, you know, you first receive this idea and then you're going to judge it, right? You're going to judge it like, is it good enough? Can I compete? Can I dominate? Can I do this? Can I do that? And, you know, we find ourselves lost again with a whole lot of mind chatter. Then, of course, the real trick, the real challenge is go and act upon that. And then in the beginning, it will still feel like, okay, you make one tiny little step, and again, you feel like 5 steps behind. Again, you make one tiny little more step, and now you feel like you make 4 steps ahead. Again, you feel yourself lost maybe in weeks or months, judging yourself what is going on. And then again, you receive another idea, another insight, another sense of inspiration. You make one tiny little step ahead, and then you still feel like 3 steps falling behind every time you do something, all right? It's the struggle, it's the grind, it's the hustle, it's the hassles, the stress that comes with it. But again, you know, these are, of course, all the judgment from the mind, all right? So eventually it's the real job, the real challenge is to free yourself from this chatter that's going on, all right? From all your limited beliefs, thoughts, feelings, and emotions you have about yourself. Then again, you receive a new insight, a new inspiration. You make one tiny little step, and, you know, still you feel like, okay, now I'm still like falling 2 steps behind, all right? But eventually you will learn to master the game of aligning yourself, all right? Staying in alignment with, of course, with your higher self and with your true self. And again, you make a tiny little step, you know, and eventually you still feel, okay, I still haven't made any progress, but I slowly start to recognize this game of aligning myself. Again, you make another tiny little step, and now you feel like you make 1 step ahead, and, you know, also your mind, your logical mind goes with it, all right? So eventually what you start to do is you create more balance and harmony within yourself, all right? So you make 1 step ahead, and you also feel like, you know, your physical reality, your mind, everything, your body also goes with it, all right? So eventually everything becomes more in tune between the minds and the hearts, and that's, of course, really why you create a full balance and harmony within yourself, all right? So eventually, you might even let go of all the things you thought you were, and now, you know, you create, let's say, a new identity about yourself. Like, you know what? Yes, this is really who I am, okay? Yes, this is what I stand for. Yes, these are my values. Yes, and this is what I came here to do and what I have to bring to the world. And then what happened, you know, it's like eventually you will get to a point where you receive so many ideas, so many inspirations, and so many, you know, insights that also you start to develop the ability, you know, the skill set, the knowledge, the wisdom to actually also to bring it here in this world, in this, you know, 3rd dimensional world, all right? So eventually you start to learn to develop the skill sets, and that's really where, you know, you can also balance your skill sets with taking action. And then more ideas are coming in, more ideas, inspirations are coming in, and you can create a very healthy balance, but letting it flow and getting it out there. All right, so things are flowing through you and it can be expressed by you, and that, of course, that is really where you can bring a very healthy balance between your higher self and, of course, everything that's going on here in this world. So I hope this makes sense, but please, of course, let me know your thoughts about this. Maybe you see things in a different way, or maybe you saw like, yes, okay, yeah, you know what, it does make sense in some way, but of course now I want to practice this, practice this kind of spiritual practice by constantly aligning yourself with your higher self. Again, it's not really so much the higher self of everything that's going up there, but it's more, of course, what's going on here. All right, and of course, how more you open up this, then you will open up more to the nature of who you really are. All right, Chapeau, I hope that was helpful, and I look forward to see you in one of my next videos. Take care for now. Bye bye.